Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing Premier League predictions. Now this is going to be interesting because we've got a few decisions which maybe you didn't think of and stuff like that. So let's get straight into it, and I hope you enjoy the video. So in 20th place we have Norwich. I just don't think Norwich, considering they've just lost their best player, Emi Buendia, I just can't see them staying up, and I just don't think they have the quality for the Premier League yet. So I think Norwich are going to need to invest and try and bring in some more players if they want to stay up this season. In 19th position we have Watford. Now Watford, being a newly promoted side, have experience in the Premier League, and we've seen that they've stayed up a few seasons but then they went down. But I don't think Watford have the quality and the calibre of players you need to survive in the Premier League. When you're thinking about them, you have a few standout players like Ismail Assar, Tom Cleverley, but apart from that, I just don't think Watford have the strength yet to survive in the Premier League. But if they make some signings, I reckon they could. In 18th, we have Brentford. Now, Brentford, newly promoted side, but there's a difference between Watford and Norwich and Brentford. Brentford have no experience in the Premier League, really. Not these players. They've been there before, but it was a long time ago, and I think they will be excited being in the Premier League, and that will help them win some games. But I just can't see them surviving because they have no experience in the Premier League, and I just think experience is a really key factor if you want to survive in the Premier League. So Brentford, I think, are going to be a strong side, but I don't think they're quite going to survive this season. In 17th, just out of the relegation zone, we have Southampton. Now, Southampton are a good side, and they're looking like they might bring in some players like Tammy Abraham, people like some different players, but considering they've just lost Danny Ings and looking like they might possibly lose Ward-Prowse, they're two players going. I just can't see them surviving if that happens. I think that those two are the engine of the team, really. I think without them, I don't think Southampton are going to be amazing anymore, but I think they might just survive. Who knows? 16th, we have Newcastle. Now, Newcastle aren't the strongest of sides, with a few standout players, but what's making me think they might stay up is, they're making some signings. Like, they're bringing in the likes of Joe Willock from Arsenal, which I think is a really good signing. He can grow at Newcastle and become a better player. But I just don't think Newcastle have enough players good enough for the Premier League, but I think they will survive. I think they will, but not by much. I don't think so. Now, 15th, we have Burnley. Now, if you look at the Burnley side, you've got players like Barnes, McNeil, Chris Wood, you've got Tarkowski in defence. You've got some good players in there, but they don't tend to win that many games. I think Sean Dyche is a really good manager, but I just don't think the quality is there at the moment. I think Burnley maybe need to try and sign some players. If Burnley could sign some players and improve positions, I think Burnley could be pushing towards the likes of Leeds, maybe, those kind of teams. Those mid-table teams, higher mid-table. But for now, Burnley, I don't think I think that they will definitely stay up, I think. But they're not looking to, push to high mid-table, I don't. In 14th, we have Brighton. Now, Brighton are in, I'd say, a similar position to Burnley right now. They have a few standout players, but the whole team isn't they don't win games too much, which I think the same thing with Burnley. They need to invest. So if they could, well, they've got some good players coming through, like the likes of Tarek Lamptey from Chelsea, and no, they've got some good players. But I think if they can just maybe invest and just add that little bit more in the positions that they need to, Brighton could be pushing for high mid-table. Crystal Palace in 13th. Now, Patrick Vieira coming in as a new manager. They've got some good players, obviously, like you've got Sarr, you've got Townsend, you've got Benteke, you've got lots of good players. And I think they will do well this season in 13th. But I reckon this could be the last, good season maybe, because if you look at the Palace squad, you've got lots of players who are, getting slightly older now, especially in that back line. You've got the centre-backs, and you've got Kenny. Van Aanholt, he's getting, into his 30s now, I think, and the centre-backs are getting a little bit older. So I think they will do well this season, but maybe next season they might be looking in to bring in some younger players, especially in that defence kind of area. We have West Ham. Now, it doesn't look like West Ham are going to be holding on to Jesse Lingard. Now, if Lingard was to stay, I reckon West Ham could be pushing towards that Europa League spot again this season. Obviously, I think they did get Europa League last season, I think. But this season, I've put them a bit lower. I put them in 12th. But if Lingard was to come back to West Ham on another loan or maybe even a transfer deal, I reckon they could be higher. But without Lingard, considering how good he was last season, they only have a standout player really, Mikel Antonio. I just think they're solid mid-table this season. Wolves, we have an 11th here. I don't think the manager will do well, but I've never heard of him. And I don't think, he's never been in the Premier League, I think. So he's lacking experience. But I think he'll do well. But you've got good players. You've got likes of Jimenez, Traore, oh my goodness. Alright. I've forgotten them. Oh gosh. Okay. Podence, he's a good player. And they've got loads of good players. But I just think that experience from the manager might start to, might affect how they do this season. Because you need an experienced manager to do well in the Premier League. And I think they will do well, but I reckon once he's got a season under his belt, if he stays, I think he could do well. Right, we have 10th position here, Leeds. So getting into top 10 now. Leeds are, I think, a good side. They have some good players, they have Patrick Bamford. And the stars of last season were mainly Bamford and Rafinha. Rafinha did amazingly. He did a goal contribution every other game or something like that. It was amazing. I think Leeds will do well this season with the likes of Jack Harrison as well. You've got lots of good players. So I think Leeds will get 10th this season. In 9th position we have Aston Villa. Now I put Villa here because they've made some very good signings. They've brought in the likes of Danny Ings, and they've brought in Leon Bailey from Bayer Leverkusen. Now, he has some serious pace, so he's going to do some damage to defences. But I think Villa have done very well making signings, and I think that will help them push forward into this table, and I reckon they're going to get top 10. And it also looks like they could get James Ward-Prowse, and that would be a very good signing as well. So, if you imagine that, you've got Ward-Prowse, Bailey, and your goal scorer Danny Ings. That would be a good line. In 8th, I have Everton. Now, Everton bringing in a new manager of Rafa Benitez. I think Rafa Benitez will do well, obviously having lots of experience under his belt with the likes of Liverpool, Chelsea, teams like that. And they've got a good set of players. They've got some young players coming through. And they've got some older players, so I think they've got a nice mix, Everton. Especially Calvert-Lewin, he'll be looking to be he'll be looking maybe to get some goals, be one of those top goal scorers in the league. Got lots of James Rodriguez, lots of nice players, lots of good players like that. And with experience from Rafa Benitez, I think Everton will do really well. 7th, we have Tottenham. So Tottenham, it's a bit of so Tottenham have some good players, obviously, the likes of Son and Kane. But if Kane goes, Tottenham have a problem on their hands. Because I think Tottenham really will rely on Kane and Son Heung-min. And and Lucas Moura and the likes of that. And they are like the main three that combine. And with Kane going, that's like a big like piece of a puzzle missing. Because Kane is he's amazing. And he has helped Tottenham for like a good 5 years now. And if he does go to City, which it looks like he will, then I think Tottenham are in a little bit of trouble. I have Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are developing their side, looking like they could get James Maddison, or maybe, I think there's been some links with them. Trippier they've been linked with as well. I think Trippier, if they could get Trippier, that would be a good signing because you've got the likes of Hector Bellerin, who's getting a little bit older now, and you could replace him. Trippier's younger. I think Trippier's like 26, 27, something like that. But Arsenal, I think they're going to do well this season. Aubameyang a little bit off form towards the end of that last season. But I think Arsenal will do well. I think they'll get Europa League. In fifth, we have Leicester. Now, Leicester, in the past, I think it might have been yesterday, have beaten City in the Community Shield by 1-0. Now, I think that will really boost their confidence going into the start of the season. As a team like City, who won the league the last 2 or 3 years, that'll really boost their confidence, I think. But I think it will be another season where it's so close for Leicester to Champions League. But I just don't think they're quite... I don't know. It looks... Well, Vardy's getting a little bit older now. It looks like Maddison could be going. If Maddison goes, then he's one of their best players. I think they're just missing out on Champions League football. But a good season, I think, for Leicester. In fourth, I have Liverpool. Because you need to think about the future, really. Because if you think about it, you've got Firmino, Mane and Salah, who they really rely on to score their goals. But they're all getting a little bit older now. So in the next couple of seasons, Salah and Firmino and Mane, they'll be gone. So Liverpool will have a problem on their hands. They need to think about what they're gonna do. They've got Jota, but he's the only forward really that could replace one. But with other teams making signings, I think Liverpool will definitely still get Champions League, but I don't think they're pushing for the title this season. In third, we have my team, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will definitely get Champions League after winning the Champions League last season. We have a very strong team now. You've got to think about it. You've got Ziyech, you have Havertz, you've got Kante, you've got Thiago Silva, you've got Ben Chilwell, and basically it's looking like we've got Lukaku now as well, fixing that striker. Chelsea are looking like a very strong side. I think these top three will be very close between Chelsea, Man United and Man City. I think City will still win the league, but I think it will be mainly close between Chelsea and United. United making some very good signings in Sancho, and basically I think they've got Varane, just need to wait for the medical. I think Chelsea will get third. Now, in second place, we have Manchester United. Now, I think United will just edge Chelsea this season because they've got some very good signings coming in, the likes of Sancho, they've got Varane in. And before that, you think about their team as well. They've got Cavani, they've got Fernandes, they've got Rashford, they've got Shaw, arguably one of the best left-backs in the world right now, if not the best. They've got Maguire, you've got Dean Henderson or De Gea in goal. Overall, a very, very strong team for Man United. And that's why I think they might just edge Chelsea this season. But I don't think they will get the title this season. Because the team who, you should know by now, but the team who I think is going to win
I think it's just too
Here
strong.
we are. I think the Premier League champions for this season are Man City again. I think if you look at their team, it's just unstoppable, really. Bringing in Grealish now, 100 million, English Premier League record, and now it's looking like they might actually also bring in Kane. Grealish in already is looking unbelievably strong, but if they brought in Kane, it's just scary for the other teams. Kane, Sterling and Grealish in the same team. Like, what? It's insane. But, yeah, I think City are looking unstoppable, to be honest. They're just adding to their team every season. And, yeah. So, City are my champions for this coming season, I think. Yeah, so I think City they're bringing in signings and everything. I think they'll win the league. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this Premier League prediction. And if you did, make sure to smash the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.